Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and Chelsea have demolished Port Vale 7-0 at the Stamford Bridge Stadium as they qualify for the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. I mean, there's really not that much to talk about the game, if I'm being very honest with you. It went as everybody thought it would expect it. I mean, it went a lot better than most of the people expected. Coming into this game, Chelsea were the heavy favorites. Everybody expected them to win, but you know, the situation with Enzo Fernandez, there was sort of a dark cloud hanging on for Chelsea. And as I said in my video about Enzo Fernandez getting banned, I was quite surprised that they handed him the bench on the eve of the game, because you know, that creates unnecessary pressure for the players and for the manager himself as well. So it you know, you're playing a game of this magnitude because this is their only chance of winning silverware, and you try to create this sort of unrestlessness in the camp by banning your captain, by banning one of the main players of the team, and to do it, as I said, just on the eve of that quarterfinal. It was quite surprising, but none of that came into effect today. You know, all the nerves that would have been for the players or the fans or the manager were calmed by Jorel Hato. In the second minute of the game, he scores the goal, and that just basically ended any hope or any dreams that Port Vale fans or the players would have had. And Chelsea were just, you know, simply amazing in that game. They cruised past. It was very easy for them. Again, I always say this thing, you know, people expect you know, somebody to go there and win that game, and that is all right and whatnot, but you need to go there and do your job to make sure that it happens. I mean, the best example tonight, the game between Mallorca versus Real Madrid, everybody expected Real Madrid to win, but they were not really able to do that. You know, Real Madrid go towards a relegation zone team and they go ahead and lose that game. So in football, anything can happen, and Chelsea had to go out there and do their job, and they did their job brilliantly. Of course, there was no match between them and Port Vale. Port Vale, bottom of League One. They are going to get relegated from that league as well. So for them, this was their biggest game of the season you know, and unfortunately for them, they were not really up to the mark. Chelsea were miles better. I think it was a good game to bring confidence back into the club. You can look at the score, you know, it's a 7-0. You had Garnacho score, you had Estevao came back, he scored as well. João Gomez scored as well. Sorry, João Pedro, not Gomez. João Pedro scored as well. Tosin scored, as already said. Hato scored as well. So you had different goal scorers. I think that was very important for Chelsea, that you know, all the 7 goals came from different people. So that gives all of them confidence. Always, you know, when you score goals, it gives you confidence. It creates momentum. And for Chelsea, the last few weeks have not really been that good. The performances have not really been good. They got trashed in the Champions League. Their performances in the Premier League have not been good as well. So they need that final push, because that 5th place, the Champions League place, is very important, and there's so many teams fighting it out for that 5th place. So they needed some sort of momentum, and I think this win is going to give them that confidence for the remainder of the season. This could be a really giant push for them as they you know, they fight for that 5th place in the Champions League. And also this win is going to be very important to ease this the situation with Enzo Fernandez. I said in my previous video as well, I think that situation is not going to go over. You know, it's not going to finish quite quickly. So they needed some sort of a good result. I mean, it's a historic win. Nobody has won with such a massive scoreline in the FA Cup for I think about half a century. So it's a big deal, and I think it's sort of a statement win from Liam Rosner as well. He needed that sort of a win. They are in the semi-finals. They still have a chance to you know, to win some sort of silverware. It's you know, he took Chelsea to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. And in a way, you know, they were in the round of 16 of the Champions League as well. They lost both of those tournaments. And now this is the you know, only major hope for them to win some sort of silverware. But for Rosner, it was important to have this sort of win, because that's what expected from Chelsea. You don't expect Chelsea to struggle against a Port Vale, and they needed a commanding win against Port Vale, and that's what they got. Port Vale, if I talk about them, if I'm being, they were not really in the game. I don't think they created anything in the entirety of that game, if I'm being very honest. I think they had one half a chance also. That was not a, you know, a complete full chance. it was they were never really at the same level of Chelsea. They were never really in the game. They tried. You can give credit to them for that, but it never really mattered because it did not bear any fruit, and Chelsea were always far superior to them in every single matter. And there's nothing else you can say about that. It was important day for them. Their fans traveled. Shout out to Port Vale fans, even though they were losing 7-0, they stayed up until the final result to sing for their fans, for their team, for the players. I know the scoreline is what's the word I want to use here. In a way, it's humiliating, and it is quite sad, and it is as sort of a distasteful scoreline if you're a Port Vale fan. But for them to come at Stamford Bridge to play in a FA Cup quarter-final, despite the season that they are having, I think it was a big thing for them. Unfortunately, it did not turn out the way that they would have hoped. In fact, I think it was quite a horrific day for them, losing 7-0. It's never really good. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. You don't want to lose a game like this. But again, it's not surprising when you look at the players from both sides. And again, I'm going to give credit to Liam Rosner that he did not ask his players to hit the brakes after the second half. They were cruising after the first half as well. It was 3-0 in the first half. They could have easily sat back and let Port Vale have a goal, let them have the possession. But no, he told his players to continue attacking and continue try to score. And I think that was a very good thing. I think that was a positive thing. We have not seen that from Rosner or Chelsea since he has come in, and I think that was very important. I have always said Rosner is a good manager. What he did at Strasbourg, I think he did a great job there. I still think it was a bit early for him to come at Chelsea, and I think he is learning on the job to what it is to manage a club like Chelsea. But I think it worked today. People are going to come in and they're going to say it was against Port Vale and whatnot. But as I said before, it doesn't matter who you are playing against. It doesn't matter what everybody thinks about the team or what everybody thinks about the game. What matters is what you do on the pitch, and his team did what they wanted to do and what he would have wanted them to do. Scoring 7 goals is not easy. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. It's not easy. And not only scoring 7, not conceding a single goal as well is a big job. So yeah, a great night for Chelsea. They move into the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and now their main concentration is going to be towards the Premier League until the semi-final. They would hope that they can carry this form towards the Premier League and try to get the wins, because they really want to go into the Champions League. For Port Vale, unfortunately, commiserations for them. It's a tough luck and a bad day at the office, and best of to them in the future. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the performance. Do you think this could be a stepping stone for Chelsea to get the points in the Premier League and get a decent form going on until the end of the season, or not? So like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the season, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.